says walking up the way right now. So just one. I maybe moved us a little fast.
We're going to Memphis this afternoon.
I'm glad they've still got the library there. I hope nothing ever covers that up because this view is really cool.
Your sunglasses.
Good. My hair.
Oh, come here. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm touching. I don't know over the hair. It looks fun.
Got the sunglasses cold on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You're very smart to wear the mask, but there's no way that you could get COVID out here. Okay, it'll be my fault.
We're all.
I'm joking. It's just a matter of that.
I know.
We had to watch the kids backed out, and so I've had that.
There she is. Woo!
I feel like I've grown my network of great people to help out.
I know. Honor suit's awesome.
I think you need to be voice. Hi, I'm Dr. Yes. Nice to meet you. It's really an honor. Thank you so much. My favorite line of yours, honestly, is the one less time.
I almost wore that same thing.
All right, thank you all for being here today. Senator Heidi Campbell, candidate for Congress in District 5, will kick us off. And right now, I'll turn it over to her.
Thanks for being here. We are here today because our freedom to start our own family on our own terms is being taken away from us. The U.S. Supreme Court overruled 50 years worth of constitutional rights and privacy protections for women. And now Governor Bill Lee and the supermajority will enforce a law that says women and girls are not allowed to control their own future. Tomorrow, it will be a crime for any doctor in any situation to provide an abortion. Not in cases of rape, not in cases of incest, not in cases of human trafficking, not in cases while little girls as young as 10 years old are impregnated by a family member. Not even to save the life of a mother during a crisis. This is not who we are. Tennesseans do not want pregnant women to die because their body or doctor were afraid of a felony. Tennesseans do not want 10-year-old girls to be forced to carry their rapist child to term. In November, our freedom is on the ballot. My opponent, Andy Ogles, will start a national ban on abortion, and he's happy to use the government to steal our reproductive freedom. Here is why it is so important. Every pregnancy is unique and complex, and that is exactly why families should be trusted to make decisions for themselves without interference from the government. So here is our first job. In November, we have to vote. Democrats, Republicans, and independents, and we have to elect pro-choice candidates. We have to make sure that every woman in Tennessee has the freedom to make her own decision about her own body and her own future. Our Tennessee daughters deserve to grow up with the same rights and freedoms that our Tennessee sons have. And Congress is all that stands between women and more government overreach on reproductive health care. Thank you.
Woo!
Good morning. I'm Dr. Amy Gordon Bono.
I'm a primary care physician who's been practicing in Middle Tennessee for 11 years. And I'm here to tell you that Governor Bill Lee and the Republican supermajority in the General Assembly continue to make our state an unhealthy place to live and a difficult place to practice medicine. The legislative attack on the healthcare community will impact the primary care of all Tennesseans, not just those women seeking reproductive freedoms. I'm an internal medicine physician, and I am proud to call my OBGYN colleagues partners in primary care. The legal landscape of the OBGYN profession has always been difficult. The high reward of helping bring life into the world is often balanced with the sorrow of loss of life all too often. And now our legislature makes physicians' jobs even harder by crafting a legal system where pregnancy care providers will feel like there is a target on their back even more than usual. These laws create burdensome divides between the physician and the patient. Whether the General Assembly intended to do so or not, these laws will lead to fewer healthcare workers entering the primary care profession. In Tennessee, it will be difficult to recruit to certain specialty programs for doctors in training, and some physicians will choose to avoid practicing medicine in Tennessee due to its harsh legal environment that needs to be tested with case law before anyone knows how to really handle a medical predicament. And as the U.S. Supreme Court abandons stare decisis, Tennessee is now mandating physicians abandon their patients in their time of need with this new law. When the General Assembly chooses to come after some of us, like women seeking reproductive freedom, and their physicians, they attack all of us. And these extreme legislators continue to make Tennessee a less healthy place to live and work freely. You know, these laws are extreme. And when things are this extreme, there is no room for grace. And to me, that feels wrong. I'm confused about the legislative intent here in Tennessee, because the reality is that patients are scared. Doctors are scared. And maybe that is the intent, to make us fearful and drive us into the shadows. To anyone listening, anyone, please share your story. And importantly, understand silence is deadly. Truly, your vote is your voice in this democracy. Register to vote and head to the polls. Truly, vote like your life, our lives, depend on it. Every government office is a crucible of character, and we do not need laws that divide us, that scare us, that bully us. And we don't need lawmakers doing that either. I am honored to stand here beside some really amazing women trying to make the arc of the moral universe bend more toward justice. And thank you for this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Melissa Sauter, and I'm the founder of the East Nashivists. It's a grassroots action council for Tennessee advocates for Planned Parenthood. Our mission is to organize, educate, and activate voters in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. Our top focus is getting Tennesseans to the ballot box to support pro-choice candidates. We were founded in March of 2022, and after the Dobbs decision came down, our volunteer base increased by 1,000%. That's in less than 3 months. People are scared. Month after month, I've been speaking to our members, and it is clear that people are scared about the future of their bodily autonomy, access to birth control, and being able to make decisions that are right for them and their families. Additionally, we're also concerned that the candidates we currently have in office do not understand the laws that they've put in place, from our healthcare workers to our aspiring mothers. It is clear that our current legislators either do not know the boundaries of the laws that they voted for, or simply do not care about the lives of women in Tennessee. In August, the primary, there was less than 20% of registered voters that cast ballots. Some folks might find that depressing. We think that's exciting. That means there's a lot of opportunity to get voters to the ballot box to elect pro-choice candidates that can pave way for a better future for us. It is going to take grit, hard work, and a lot of volunteers. Our basic human rights are on the line. Women's rights to bodily autonomy are on the line. Our healthcare workers, starting tomorrow, could be considered felons for providing life-saving care to mothers in jeopardy, and children that are victims of rape and incest will be forced to give birth. We need to step up. We deserve better. We deserve better representatives that support our right to choice. Right now, Nashville, we can decide whether abortion access loses a vote or adds a vote in Congress.
Hi, my name is Kelly Nowers, and I'm the Executive Director of Awake, a nonprofit that advocates for the advancement of women and young people in Tennessee through education initiatives and policy change. As a grassroots nonprofit, we are committed to centering the experiences and political power of impacted communities and responding to the issues that are most urgent and important to the populations that we serve, which is why we're here today. Tomorrow, our anticipated reality becomes our lived reality. Tennesseans will have less access to reproductive health care, less decision-making power, less bodily autonomy, and less protection against the consequences of gender-based violence. The fact that the rights of the past will be greater than the rights of the future should put us all in a position to act. The consequences of Tennessee's total abortion ban, with no exceptions, is far-reaching and long-lasting, impacting the economic health, the physical health, and the mental health of individuals and families across our state. And just like any policy or pandemic, the consequences of this law will touch us all differently. Abortion bans and restrictions fall hardest on Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, and those working to make ends meet. In fact, Black women in Tennessee are 3 times as likely to die from pregnancy complications than white women, and nearly 800,000 Tennessee residents don't have health care coverage, putting our state in the top 10 states for the proportion of uninsured people. Forced pregnancy in a state with this record is both cruel and violent. Awake is dedicated to fulfilling our mission of gender equity while staying consistent to our values of nonpartisan grassroots activism, collaboration, and inclusion. We will move forward from this day in solidarity with statewide advocates like the ones here today, and in response to the concerns and experiences of the communities that this law will so intimately impact. Awake is committed to a future where we all have the freedom to control our bodies, safely care for our families, and live with dignity. Thank you.
All right.
Hello, my name is Gail Jeter, and I am an organizer with Nashville's Beyond Road Collective. We're here today at the Capitol because Tennessee's total abortion ban begins in just a few hours, with no exceptions, not in cases of rape, child abuse, and not even to save the life of a mother. This isn't just a tragedy, this is a public health crisis. In Tennessee, more than 1 in 3 pregnancies are unintended, yet we rank 41st in the nation for maternal mortality, a burden disproportionately carried by Black women who are more than 4 times as likely to suffer from maternal abuse and death. This isn't just an attack on our bodily autonomy, this is racism and classism. We are outraged that Tennessee lawmakers who chose to gut our fundamental rights for political gain. But what we do now is channel that fury and rage towards action. We will not let up, we will not be quiet, and we will vote out Republican lawmakers who sold us out. And we will fight like hell so every Tennessean has access to safe, legal, and free abortion care. And lastly, I'd like to remind everyone today, abortion care is still allowed in many states, and it is 100% legal to travel outside of Tennessee to get an abortion. There are abortion funds and financial resources available if you need it. Visit abortionfund.org for more information. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna Carella and I'm the Executive Director of Healthy and Free Tennessee. Tomorrow the state's total abortion ban with no exceptions goes into effect. This abortion ban is state-sanctioned violence. Not only will people be forced to carry pregnancies and give birth, but people will be arrested for experiencing miscarriages or providing care to someone experiencing a pregnancy loss. Parents will be separated from their children for living in state-mandated poverty. These things are already happening to Black and brown people, as well as people who are disabled and people who use substances, and will only get worse as governments become more and more involved in policing people's medical and parenting decisions. Now, make no mistake, this is a decision that has been decades in the making. So we know that the road ahead in our battle for reproductive justice won't be easy, but we're in this fight for the long haul. So I'm here today not only to stand in solidarity with every Tennessean who's angry and scared, but to remind you that we can and we must fight back. We must elect representatives to Congress and in the state of Tennessee who will keep their feet on the gas when it comes to abortion rights and codify reproductive justice into law. We must elect local and state lawmakers who fight for the needs of their constituents ahead of conservative extremism. We must push our community stakeholders for policies that protect Tennessee women and pregnant people from these ideologically driven attacks. I urge you all to stay in this fight with us and keep pressing for the abortion care that we all deserve. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Rachel Welty. I'm a Nashville family law attorney who works in our family and juvenile courts. But more importantly, I'm here today as a member of the Board of Directors of Abortion Care Tennessee, our Nashville-based abortion fund. One of my earliest memories from when I was around 6 was my mother's Planned Parenthood sticker on her car that said, "Parenthood is forever, plan it." It's a terribly unrealistic ideal. And in 40 years, we've gone from educating others on the importance of contraception and planning pregnancies to birthing people being forced into them. Tennessee has one of the highest rates of teen pregnancies in the nation, coming in at number 10. Yet our laws require abstinence-only sex education in schools to be taught to our youth. It makes no sense. And as of tomorrow, our teens will be one of the most vulnerable populations to be forced into birth, with sometimes little to no access to monetary funds or support. The days of a teen hopping a Greyhound bus from Memphis so I can assist her with receiving a judicial bypass approval to seek out abortion services is effectively over. The teens I worked with who sought judicial bypasses were smart, resourceful, and knew what they wanted for their lives. They were going to college and had plans for their futures. They knew they weren't ready to be mothers, and it was rewarding work connecting with them. When the draft opinion on Dobbs leaked, I cried for what has been set up for these children. Little to no access to effective sex education, and now forced birth. It is why I'm on the Board of Directors of Abortion Care Tennessee, a 501c3 abortion fund that provides direct funding to abortion clinics for patients seeking abortion services. We envision a Tennessee where everyone, regardless of race, gender, income, language, ability, and sexual identity, are free from reproductive control, oppression, and stigma. We envision a Tennessee where everyone's human right to bodily autonomy is honored and protected. We envision a Tennessee where sexual and reproductive care, including abortion, is deemed health care and accessible to all. This work is more important than ever after today. Clinics are further away. Some are raising funds to even have to move across state lines. Patients have more barriers to access care. They have to take off work, find childcare, travel by air, car, or bus, and be in another state for 2 to 3 days to receive the health care they need. Voting for progressive candidates like those behind me to help protect against a national abortion ban and donating to abortion funds to provide access to care are two important direct actions we can take in our state to fight against these bans. Let's get birthing people in Tennessee where they need to go to access appropriate abortion care. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to actually read what I wrote down because I don't want to miss anything. For those who don't know me, my name is Odessa Kelly. I am the official Democratic nominee for U.S. Congress. We will make history on November 8th by defeating Mark Green. But that's what I'm here to talk about today. I am talking about we let a group of wealthy, white, evangelical legislators decide to strip us of our fundamental rights to abortion care. Regardless of the circumstances, by tomorrow, all abortion will be illegal in the state of Tennessee. Let's be clear. Abortion bans don't stop abortions, they only stop safe abortions. Who pays the price for this? As you heard the doctor say behind me, black women, indigenous women, poor women. These are the people who are going to bear the brunt of this. This is white supremacy at its finest. This is class warfare. This is state-sanctioned violence. The lawmakers responsible for this ban are being facilitated and emboldened by the conservative extremists in Congress. That's right, like the person I'm running against, Mark Green. See, this is no longer about progressive versus conservative, Democrat, Republican. This is literally democracy versus fascism. Let me say that again. This is literally democracy versus fascism. If it's one thing the Republicans have given us, it's given us a moment in time to stand up and to say that we are going to be the era, we're going to be the moment in history that defeated fascism, not only in the state of Tennessee, not right here in Nashville, but across this country. I will not listen or abide by any law that impedes on my human rights. I won't do it, and you shouldn't either. To every lawmaker, to every woman, to every man, to every doctor that can hear my voice, if you'll stand with us, we'll stand with you. I came from a Tennessee that I was supposed to be proud of. We need to start making the national news for standing up and being a new voice of the South, standing for something different. I'm not afraid of a small few of racist Republicans here in the state that want to push their hateful views on all of us. That's not who I am, and I'm willing to bet that's not who you are either. I say live and let everybody else live and make the choice of how they live their life and the best quality of life and how they choose to live. I will not be governed by a bunch of fascists who want to take me back 50 to 60 to 70 years. One thing I remember that my grandmama used to tell me, I said, like, grandmama, living through a time when Jim Crow was here, what is the thing that you think about the most? And she said, I was always afraid of what tomorrow will bring. We are now in a time where we have to be afraid of what tomorrow will bring. I'll be damned. This is our state. This is our city. This is our country. You got a right to shape it the way you want to see it. You got a right to live in it the way you see fit, and that's how you got to behave. Behave like this country is yours and don't let them snatch it from you. We have a right to abortion care. We have a right to not to live in a fascist state, and I won't do it. And I'm asking every single last one of you who are here, who can hear my voice, that you shouldn't either. This is a new day in Tennessee. This is my Tennessee, and I will determine how I live in it. Not a couple of racists in the state legislature who are governed by those racists in Congress. Again, my name is Odessa Kelly. I'm running for U.S. Congress, and I need your help. I need every single last one of you, man, woman, and child, to go out and make sure that you vote this November. Vote for your morals. Vote for your expectations of what you want to see this state to be, what you want this country to be. And that is the United States that I fight for. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much to Jason Martin for being here and standing with us. And I also want to say thank you very, very much to Brandon for organizing this. We appreciate it. And thanks for being here.
If anyone wants individual interviews, feel free to engage. Who are here. You may want to sign up.
And I pay every word of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun to meet you in person. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Beat me to it.
And holler if you need me for
yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Safe tape.
What I do?
So, right now,
hand sanitizer will get that off.
What's that?
A little hand sanitizer will get that off.
I am